Hey guys, it's Webby and welcome back to another video. Today we're having a look at the Chery Omoda E5, a mid-size family electric SUV that in its entry-level specification starts at just over $40,000. So last weekend I went to the Melbourne Motor Show and had a good look round at some of the new cars that are coming to Australia here in 2025. And it was interesting to see how many Chinese brands are coming over here and also how many of those cars are going to be fully electric. So today is a good starting point to have a look at this Chery to see what we can get now in Australia and what's coming in the future. So in terms of where this fits into the market then, it's a similar size and a similar price point to something like a Hyundai Kona, which I drove last year. But then it's also going to be similar to things like the upcoming MG S5 as well. So there's plenty of competition in this small to medium sized electric SUV market. So this car has got to be really good to stand out and make you want to spend your money. So in terms of technical specifications, we've got an electric motor powering the front wheels, which is 150 kilowatt and 340 newton meters of torque. So fairly decent power. You've got a 61 kilowatt battery and a claimed range of 430 kilometers with a WLTP testing regime. Now, in terms of charging this Chery Omoda, it will accept up to 80 kilowatts on a fast DC charger, so it will take you anywhere up to an hour, depending on the state of charge, to give you a full battery. And you also get up to 7 years roadside assistance as well. As long as you keep servicing at a Chery service centre, you'll get a full 7 years, which is fantastic value for money.
Not a bad looking car, Paul.
I think it's all right, actually. When I first picked it up, I was like, oh, I'm not too sure about this. I'm not too sure about the colour, if I'm honest. It's called Titan Green. Yeah, wouldn't be my choice at all. Black would be quite cool. But yeah, in terms of styling, I actually think this is a really good looking car.
Representative of a typical Chinese electric car, would you say?
Very much so, yeah. When you look at it, it's just very identifiable as a Chinese car, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yep.
They're just, styling is just very different to sort of European, for example. But you do get these nice daytime running lights which go across all the way on the headlight. Or you have the rest of your headlights down there. We've got front parking sensors, which is pretty good for a base model. One thing I do like, and we were just talking about this off camera, is that the charging port is at the very front of the car. So it's not on either side, which makes life easier. So if you go into a charging bay, you haven't got to remember which side the charging port is, because it's at the front.
Just pull straight in.
Yeah, you push the little button, the little door pops up, you plug it in, and it's actually quite easy. It makes the charging experience much less stressful because you haven't got to remember which side of the car the little door is. But yeah, styling wise, I think it's all right. What do you think?
As I said, it's typical of a Chinese electric car, or most electric cars, but it's a bit futuristic and but modern.
It's not offensive though, is it? It doesn't look ugly and you think, Jesus, what have they done?
No.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Let's have a look around the back, shall we? Again, I think it's quite a good design. I don't think it doesn't shout Chinese electric car. I just think it's quite a good styling. We've got LED tail lights here. We've got this nice red strip that goes all the way from one side of the car to the other with the Omoda badge in the middle. There's also a little lip spoiler there, which is quite nice. And then you get these sort of air ducts at the top here on the sort of rear spoiler.
I like that.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Just adds to the back of the car a bit.
One thing I really don't like though.
Yep.
Can you guess what it is?
Here we go. Have a look at this eyesore.
Yeah. It's not the only car that I've seen do this. I think it is a Chinese thing.
Yeah.
Because their number plate holes must be in a different
might have bigger number plates as well.
Yeah, must be in a different space to ours. That's why you've got to have this sort of ugly looking bracket.
I think you can get slimline holders though, but you'd have to then pay and change and see if it is compatible to the car.
Yeah, okay. But other than that, yeah, I think the back of the car looks all right.
Yep.
Okay, we've got all the usual sort of parking sensors down here as well, so they're all hidden in the sort of the plastic bit of the rear bumper. But yeah, as an overall thing, I actually think it looks
not too bad, is it?
Yeah, it's not a bad looking thing, apart from the colour. We keep going on about that. The tailgate is manual because this is the base model. You can, for $3,000 more, get a top of the range model, by the way, which has got an electric tailgate. Boot size is 300 litres in this configuration here. If you take the shelf out and fold the seats down, it's just over 1,000. So it's not terrible. It's not the biggest boot in the world, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
You do get a full-size spare wheel.
don't get in all a spare wheel in all the cars that we've seen?
No, some cars don't get a spare wheel at all.
Yeah.
Some of them have space savers. So it's actually quite rare these days to see a full-size spare wheel. I was actually quite shocked when I was reading through the specs and bits and pieces to see that. So yeah, that's actually quite good. Right, so that's a bit about the outside. Let me show you on the inside of this Chery motor and some of the cool standard inclusions. Keyless entry is a starter. When we open the door, you can actually be forgiven for thinking this isn't a base model, because just the look of it, the styling, the materials that they've used don't look cheap and nasty. We've got these nice silver trims around here for the mirrors, the windows, and the child locks for the windows. It's not quite leather on the top, but it feels nice and softly padded. We've got these nice sort of chrome speaker grills here, more speakers down there. The speaker system is actually Sony, which really surprised me. It's a 6-speaker Sony sound system, which I just thought it would be some random generic speaker setup. And then you get this nice little bit of stitching here on the door as well, and at the top, which just makes it feel a little bit more upmarket, which is great for a base model. One thing you notice as soon as you get in is how comfortable these seats are. Being the base model, there's only manual adjustment, there's no heating, and they are fabric. But even so, it's really comfortable. And you get a great view ahead. It's got a really good driving position. There's a decent size windscreen, so you get really good visibility, and the same out of the side windows as well. We've got this quite large steering wheel, which is plastic on this base model. If you get the top of the range model, this is leather and heated as well, which is quite nice. The buttons are haptic, so you kind of press them and have that sort of haptic touchback. I don't mind it actually, it's quite a nice steering wheel to feel. The buttons are really nice and responsive, so that's quite cool. We've got a nice 12.3-inch digital display in front of the driver. That gives you all the relevant information that you need. And you can even, if you press and hold the button here in the middle, you can swap it and actually have your sat-nav in the main screen in front of you. Sadly, you can't have your Apple Maps or your Google Maps over here. It's just a generic built-in sat-nav. We then also get another 12.3-inch display in the centre. So that's your wireless CarPlay or wireless Android Auto. And I have to say, it connects every time you get in the car really quickly. I've not had any glitches with it, so it's really, really impressive. It's also nice and easy to get access to other functions as well. So when you're in your CarPlay, you can literally swipe down from the top of the screen, and that gives you access to some of your driver assistance features. Or if we go the opposite way, then you've got your climate control features. So it's actually quite easy to access those features whilst you're driving, unlike some other cars I've driven where you have to keep pushing buttons to actually get into menus. It's actually quite a handy feature. And there you go, you're back to your Apple CarPlay. In the middle here, we've got a lovely extended center console with wood effect trim here on the top as well, which looks really nice. There's plenty of storage here. We can open up this little sliding drawer, and underneath there, we've got a 50-watt wireless phone charger, which is really cool because it keeps your phone in place and stops it sliding around whilst you're driving. We've then also got a couple of decent sized cup holders. There's a little pop-up door there with a little bit more storage, and then underneath the armrest we can flip that up and we've got a bit more storage in there as well. And there's also a valve you can twist so the air conditioning goes into that center storage area as well. And then underneath we've got a bit more storage under here. We've got a couple of USB charging points down there, and then on the driver's side there's a 12-volt charging socket, so you can plug other devices in as well. So now we're in the back of the Chery motor. There's actually quite a decent amount of space back here. I can stretch my legs out quite nicely because there's lots of leg room. I can't quite get my feet under the driver's seat unless they raise it up slightly. We've got a decent bit of storage here in the door pocket. We've got a central air vent for the air conditioning and also a couple of USB charging points. There's a decent amount of headroom, and it's lovely to see a lighter interior headlining, so it makes the car feel a little bit lighter and a bit more spacious. Other amenities that we've got is the traditional fold down armrest with a couple of cup holders. MG, you could take some notes here on the MG4. Then we've also got the ISOFIX child mounting points on the two outer seats as well. So all in all, passengers in the back are pretty well catered for. Right, so let's go for a drive. Foot on the brake. You don't actually, there is no push button to start this car, a bit like the MG I had recently. So it's literally foot on the brake, everything comes to life. Put it in drive and off you go. So I'm actually using the built-in sat-nav at the minute. It's actually not a bad sat-nav system, way better than one in some of the MGs I've driven recently. So you've got it on the big screen there in the centre, but I've also managed to put it here in front of my driver display as well. So that's actually quite cool, so I don't have to take my eyes off the road to see when I've got to turn left or right or what have you. So in terms of the driving experience, it's actually very quiet in here, which is not unnormal for most electric cars. You get a little bit of road and tyre noise. As a thing to drive though, I've actually been really impressed and slightly surprised at the same time, because I didn't really have an expectation. I've never driven a Chery before. So yeah, I wasn't really sure what this car was going to sort of offer. But like I say, I've been really surprised, and in a good way. It's a nice thing to drive. A lot of people sort of say, oh, it's Chinese and there's all these Chinese cars coming to Australia, etc, etc. But before you kind of dismiss it, go and have a drive of one of these things. It's actually really good. The visibility is really good, even including out the back window as well. You've got 3 different driving modes, Eco, Normal and Sport, which you can change by the button down here on the centre console. And it does make quite a difference to how fast the car accelerates, obviously. I think Chery must have done some sort of local tuning to the ride and handling of this car, because it drives surprisingly well. It doesn't get affected too much by the lumps and bumps here on the roads in Melbourne. It's actually a really impressive thing to drive. And even the safety stuff isn't too intrusive either. A lot of cars can really annoy you with all the safety stuff, but this one's actually pretty decent. As a value for money proposition, it really does paint a good picture for itself. Like what you pay, what you get, the aftercare, like the warranty, the servicing, the roadside assist. It's a really great package. So you can understand why so many people are buying these things. So that's the Chery Omoda E5 then. I've got to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect from this car because I'd never driven a Chery before, but I've come away pleasantly surprised. Even for this base model, it drives really well, it's got a good level of standard equipment, it's got everything you need and a decent price for an entry-level electric family SUV. Personally speaking, if I was going to buy one of these, I'd spend the extra $3,000 to get the top of the range model, because it gives you nice stuff like heated leather seats and a sunroof, and those things are bits and pieces that I quite like to have in a car. But overall, really impressed.
Paul, this or the Kona?
Oh, that's a really good question. This or a Kona, this or a Kona. Well, that's actually really tough, because they're both around $40,000. Very similar standard equipment, very similar size. If you were thinking practically, possibly the Kona, because there's more Hyundai dealerships around for things like servicing. Your resale would probably be better because Hyundai is more of a known brand here in Australia. But if you put those two things aside, there's really not much to choose between the two. You might choose it between the styling of the car, whether you like one more or less.
So it just comes down to personal choice.
Really comes down to personal choice. If you want more equipment on your car, it's cheaper to get into the top of the range Chery than it is to get into the top of the range Kona. So yeah, if you are wanting everything, this would be your better bet because it works out cheaper. But if you compared this to a base model Kona, yeah, I'm gonna have to sit on the fence on that one. So if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to find out the next time a video goes live. Thanks very much for watching today, and until next time, safe driving.